for that interesting introduction. I didn't know there is so much of weight behind the name, but thanks for that. Now, what I'm going to talk about today is, in the session is background screening. I hope all of you have heard about it, yeah? But not many of you would be using, or at least some of you wouldn't be using it. So what I'm going to do today is, I'm going to do my bit to sort of make it acceptable at your end so that you use it for your employees. You go through a pile of CVs, yeah, and a round of interviews, and finally you come across something which is right fit, you think. A prospective employee, yeah? He is seemingly confident, intelligent, has the know-how of the work, ready to take on the job. But then what you have done up till now is just made some initial impressions by meeting this person. And first impressions can be deceiving. Last thing as an organization, last thing as a recruiter you want is hire somebody with a dubious background or questionable educational certificates or questionable employment background, or worse, a criminal. Yeah? Now, how do you ensure that you as a recruiter, you as an organization do not land up with somebody like that? So that's where the background screening plays the role. Now, background screening as such in India is a trend which has been catching up. It's there for quite some time. Many organizations have adopted it, many verticals have adopted it, but still I would say it's a work in progress for many of the industries. When we talk about India workforce, we're talking about a huge workforce, a workforce of the size of 475 million people. And it's continuously increasing. Thanks to the growth of economy, every year we add a lot of freshers to this workforce of 475 million. 10% of this number works in the organized sector, and say around 90% of this work in the unorganized sector. What makes it more complicated is that at one hand you have a huge workforce, and then you have addition of freshers getting into this workforce. You have movement within and across industries of this workforce, and there is a lot of migration happening from the unorganized sector to organized sector. To ensure that you always get the right person, background screening helps you. It's not limited to a particular industry, it's not limited to a particular vertical. As I said, most of the verticals, industries, they go for background screening, and it's not even limited to a particular section in the hierarchy. It's there right from the freshers up till the C-level people. While for freshers, you won't go for the complete bouquet of background screening. What you would go for is predominantly I would say, criminal background check, because he's a fresher, doesn't have any footprint of employment. So you'll go for that basic criminal background check. But for the lateral recruits, what you do, you would go for full bouquet of the background screening checks, what we do. And for the C-level, you may do something more in depth. What we have at our end is something called as executive advantage, where we not only do the basic checks of education and employment, we also get into depth of his leadership style, how he has performed, how he has taken the team along, and stuff like that. Organizations are also getting into something called as infinity check. While there are employees working with you for a long period of time, and you know that when they entered, they had a clean background. So there is something called as a static background in terms of his education, in terms of his employment. That remains as it is. But something which organizations become opaque to over a period of time is how he has been performing in his personal life, or what he has been doing in his personal life. That's something which you won't be aware of. So some of the organizations, early starters, what they have adopted is infinity check. So every 3-4 years, they do a criminal background check of their employees to ensure that if there is some untoward incident which has happened, somebody has got embroiled into some antisocial activity, they can handle it. Now, what are the reasons behind surge of background screening in India? We are living in a society which is continuously at a threat from internal factors, threat from external factors. There is increase in fraud and corruption. Resume fraud, as I was talking about. Counterfeit degrees, fake experience letters, fake reference letters, non-legitimate universities. I'm sure you would have heard of universities which are doling out certificates to candidates which are not even recognized. Suspect and fake companies. So these are the mills of experience certificates. You go to them and they can give you the experience certificate the way you want. And vendor fraud.